going live on Facebook. We're live now. So I wanted to come hop on and let y'all see what we got going on this week. So if you can see, y'all, I have my mama here. And we are going to be talking to you guys all week. That's right. Talking with Tanya is going to have their first ever special guest. And it's going to be none other than
Linda.
I'm done. She's like, Linda, that's it. I wanted to make sure I told y'all that and to definitely be tuned in and listening. They told me, see, I told you they be asking about you. They told me, hey, mama.
Hey, girl.
Wait a minute. Yes, I can't see. I'm not sure. But yes, I wanted to make sure that you all knew that she was going to be on with me. I see somebody over here on Facebook too, that she's going to be on all week. So make sure that you definitely pay attention. Hey, Tammy, make sure that you are looking at the videos as they pop up and that you know that you are in tune with them, because it's a very special week. You know, it's Mother's Day week that's coming up, and so we talking about hard stuff, we talking about good stuff, we talking about stories, but more than anything, we are celebrating moms that are here, that are gone, and that the love just is there. See, I told you. That's Tammy said, hey, everybody know you. I done told you, girl, you're a little superstar. You got you some fans. So make sure you tune in and listen, because we cutting up. Y'all gonna figure out who I got it from. But what you gotta say, Mama?
Hey.
That's what you say. Why is that all you have to say is hey?
I'll wait till you get more into it.
I am into it. What is y'all? This is gonna be great. Y'all gonna see exactly where I get this thing from, because it's not a game. I get it from her. You know, whether it's the advice. Who is this? See, everybody telling you hi. Yeah, see, I'm telling you. They be talking about you and asking about you all the time. Hey girl, how you doing?
I'm here. It's
so,
real.
It's real.
It's real.
It's real. Me. It's you.
It's me.
Okay, so I want you to tell them one little tip about being a mom. What is the one tip that you would give to a new mom that's got, let's say, newborns or toddlers? What would you say to them? Because we didn't cover this.
Be patient, first of all, with your children.
Okay.
That's the first thing. Becoming a mom, you have to have patience.
Okay.
You can't have all of that jitteries. I'm scared to feed the baby. I'm scared to hold the baby. Scared to train the 2-year-old, because they going to pee other than just in the pot. They going to poop other than just in the pot.
Bad.
But you have to have patience with them. And once they have accidents, because we talking about toddlers or babies, once they have accidents, love them. Let them know it's okay. You're going to get this thing if you potty train them. You're going to get throwing that pacifier away. Stand them behind that door, as they used to teach us. 7 days. After 7 days, throw that pacifier, either that bottle in the trash. They don't need it no more. Because if they biting the nipples off of them,
or biting yours, they don't
need it anymore.
Okay.
And I know you knew mamas don't want to do all that. He's crying. She's crying. No, she'll get over it. Throw it in the trash.
Okay. Oh.
That's real talk.
Yes, and she said you don't have to have all the answers either. Absolutely. Okay, so what will you tell and give advice? Because there's a whole bunch of mamas that got some kids that's in elementary that's driving them crazy, and middle school, because they got to be homeschool mamas right now. What's the advice you would give to them? Because they said they're not teachers, but they got to teach. They got to do homeschool work. What's the advice you would give to those parents? Those
well,
mamas.
You should have been helping doing homework, and you wouldn't have a complication with doing schoolwork now. She want me to be real with y'all. See, because I know I do that. Y'all be faking. Be sending all these notes to the teacher talking about sending my kids some homework home, and then you don't even open up the folder when we send it home. But anyway, let me get back to reality. I'm sorry, I had a teacher moment. gotta snap back on a real teacher moment.
Oh my God. I'm done.
Yeah, for teaching them, make sure you know what to do. Because I know this modern day schoolwork, some of y'all, this done flew over y'all heads.
I don't understand this new math. They tried to show me how to do this new math, and I said, that's not math. I don't understand what that is. And they say, yes, this is how you do it. You going to tell your, yes, tell her, Tabby, tell her. Tell her. Okay, so they should have been, so y'all caught that. Y'all should have already been helping her with their homework. That's what she said. And then number 2, you said, what was the second thing you said?
Make sure they know how to do it before they start trying to help them, because the teacher know when the parent done tried to help them, and the kid work is different in the classroom than when they have homework and bring it back to school. We know the difference, because most of the time it's wrong. And that's not from the kid, it's from the parents. Because they'll say, Mama help me do that. Nah. But anyway, y'all make sure you call on Siri or Google or something.
She's shading y'all on the real. Y'all see where I get it from. Okay, so what is the advice and the tips that you would give to a mama with some teenagers? Because y'all know sometimes this is the age when the mama's finally in the daughter, that's the teenagers, as they say in my family, she starts smelling herself. And then as the boy, they say, what you say, Tammy? You know. And then the boy, what y'all say about the boy in my family? I guess y'all say he started getting managed. So what's the advice that you would give to a mama that got some teenage boys and girls right now that's starting to feel themselves? She's trying to figure out the PG version.
That's right.
Because she best way to tell, punch him in the chest, punch him in the chest. Because the woman don't work, she be like, punch him in the chest. I'm listening though. What's the advice you give him?
Also, this is a nice little joke before I can say what I'm going to say. I also used to tell my son, knock you in the head to the white meat show. I mean, I'm going to knock you out if you think you can yell at me just because you're taller than I am. That don't work.
Because we short. Apparently, somewhere in this thing, I got her height. Everybody else taller than me, including my little sister and my niece. All of them like got the tall gene except for me. We short.
Yeah, we're short. But anyway, as far as talking to your teenage daughters, just be honest with them. You know, try to let them know that every boy that say you keep, he's only out the most time one thing. And saying, I know y'all parents don't want to tell your daughters that.
And she told me, and so I remember little boy, I was in 6th grade. He tried to tell me that he loved me, and I fell out laughing because I said, boy, you don't even know what the word love means. And he was like, I do. I said, no, you don't. He was looking for me to say, I love you back. And I said, my mama told me not to be no fool. You don't even know what love means. So until you learn the definition of what that means and what that all entails, bro, you like me. So I was just as much as I am now, I was at in 6th grade. But keep going. Because she did. I'm telling you, they be like, where'd she get them from? Can't nobody beat you being you. So I knew it early on. You ain't running okay about me.
And I know a lot of the young ladies, they want to talk back. Because they talk back to us in school as teachers. So we know they talking back to the parents at home. But you have to let your child know who's the adult in the house. You have to let them know. You ain't got to rub it in their face, but you have to let them know, because once kids get to be teenage years, they feel like, okay, I don't have to listen to you anymore. But until, and I know a lot of parents, I know back in my day, my mom and them used to tell us, until you get a job, start making your own money, start paying rent on a room, then you under my roof, you do what I say. But y'all can't say that kind of stuff to these kids nowadays. But you can tell them, if they want to have their own rules, get a job and start paying you rent on the room that they stay in. Start buying some groceries, and that'll change all that up. They'll become back babies again to you. Because they don't want that responsibility. Because it's not easy being an adult, and a kid should stay in a kid place. So just be honest with them, let them know that, for us guys, this marijuana thing is so rampant nowadays, and everybody think marijuana is a cigarette. Everybody you see young got a weed stick in their fingers, and they riding down the road smoking it.
Or on social media.
On social
rolling
media.
it up and smoking it. Where they do that at?
Tell you,
they checking your information.
That's going to hit them in the butt one day. And they're going to be wishing they would have listened. But as a parent, you need to tell them so they would know. Don't let the world tell them that they shouldn't be doing that.
And it ain't cute.
It ain't cute, and a mind is a terrible thing to waste.
It ain't cute twerking. It ain't cute.
Yeah. Y'all girls, tell your daughters don't be on these social media twerking. Because you got some perverts out there looking. And as a parent, that's what you need to tell them. You don't need to do that. And I know some of them ain't gonna want to listen.
Mm-hmm.
But I always show them love, even if they choose not to listen.
Yeah.
Because Bible say, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he's old, he would not depart. That's not only just talking about the church, but that's talking about coming home as a child, back to my family, coming back to my where I grew up. And if we instill that love into them, even if they choose to make wrong decisions, they know that I can come back home. And one thing I did with my kids, I told them, you can make a mistake once, you can make it twice, you can make it 3 times, and I'll help you. Mistake 4 is no longer a mistake. You chose to do it, and I refuse to help you. So as a parent, you have to just be honest with your kids. Tell them. And they'll see what they can get away with and what they can't get away with. You got anything you want to say to Miss Tanya?
No. What would you say to parents now that they have adult children? Like, the relationships, the change, what would you say to them? What would you give the advice to them of the relationship going forward? Like, what does that look like?
I think once your children become adults, that makes the relationship easier with the child and the parent, because the child has grown up through some things and they've learned some things and come through obstacles.
I'm gonna ask it.
That block them. But as a parent, you're not on the same level, but they can understand, and you can get a closer relationship with them. You can tell them more as an adult to adult, because it's no longer child to adult, it's adult to adult.
And I'm gonna say that, and then I'm gonna and if you have a question, apparently we having a whole live session, so let's roll with it. The Holy Spirit done said otherwise, so ask a question, drop it in the chat. So one thing I want to tell you guys, the way you see us now is because of the way we were growing up. The one thing I would tell people all the time is, when they found out we were pastors' kids, they had all these assumptions like, oh, y'all must have been strict, y'all must not. And I was like, no, like, my mom and daddy told us this. They told us that A, if you decided to do B, then you was gonna have to roll with what happened with C. And that was what it was. And it was a choice. And they basically showed and taught us you have choices. And that's on you what you decide to do. But just know that you'll have to accept the consequences of whatever happens. But also, we had it to where and we talked about this, and we'll talk about this later on in the week more, but we were allowed to actually have conversation as children, like now. Not as raw as this, but we was able to have conversations even then. And a lot of people were like, when they read things my mama said, it shocks them, because they be like, y'all grew up like this? Like, your mama was like, it's like, yeah, like, yeah, like. And I told her, I said, what would you say about that? And she was like, well, I just say that's what you're supposed to. I said, but I have to I was telling her, Mom, that's not normal. Like, everybody did not grow up like this. I can tell you how many people that I get that say that's why they want to meet you, that's why they want to talk to you, because they did not have this type of stuff growing up. And then not only that, even now, like, I have friends or people that I know that's grown that are afraid to ask their mama stuff that they need to be asking their mama, like, for real stuff. And I'll be like, well, who? I mean, you can ask your girlfriends, but why you don't ask your mama? Like, she know, like, I don't understand. But That's because I be asking her whatever. But let me ask Tammy's question. But as I ask Tammy's question, what you have to say about that? What I just said.
Well, if the relationship, if it's an adult to adult now, and that relationship wasn't established when you were a child to be able to have a conversation with your parents, then I'm sure there's fear, there's doubt, that it may even feel discouraged that they're going to talk about you.
Okay.
But I always say the best advice when you need advice is to go to your parent, because the parent more than likely has experienced what you're going through. They would have the best advice to direct you and guide you so you won't end up somewhere that could cause harm or danger, even if it's just your mind getting more deteriorated.
Yeah.
Listening at advice from somebody else.
Because when we was gonna, she'd be like, I've been there, done that, got the t-shirt. That's what she would tell us. But Tammy wants to know, do you agree that single moms are raising their daughters but showing love to the boys? Does that make sense what I'm telling you? Like, they raising their daughters and telling and making their daughters be prepared for life, but they just loving on their boys.
Letting the boys do whatever
and feel
they
free to jump
do.
in and ask your questions. Yeah.
Well, just from seeing teenage boys that are in my family. Well, I won't say in my family. But teenage boys, I'm going to go with them first. Because I know a lot of times we're a lot stricter on our daughters, because at 14, 15, and 16, we don't want to see them getting pregnant and coming up with a baby that we're going to have to raise. So we're a lot stricter on our daughters. But just giving that love to that boy and not guiding him, we got to do better on that part. Got to tell him, you don't supposed to be going around sleeping with girls, you know, because that girl could get pregnant. And I know a lot of, I'm not even going to just say single moms, but moms period, don't tell their sons not to go around sleeping around, because they don't think that the boy is going to be getting somebody pregnant. But in our minds, okay, well, he ain't going to be pregnant. And that's a lot of times as a parent, that's the way we're thinking when it comes to our daughters and to our sons, you know. So it's okay for my son to go sleep around at 15 and 16 years old, you know.
But it's not okay for the girl.
No, it ain't okay. She going to get a beat down. But
and
that's not
right.
fair. That's not fair. But that's the way we do. And like I say, it's not just single moms. It's married moms as well. We just want to protect our daughters, and we should be protecting both the son and the daughters. You know, letting them know that, you know, you don't need to go around drinking every weekend after the football game just because you're a football player. Because everybody else is doing it. You go to this party, but cheerleader daughter, you come home after that bus drop you off, I'll be there to pick you up. You gotta set rules that are both ways. So hopefully I answered your question. What's her name? Tammy. If not, ask me again, and I'll try to think a little bit more on it and see if I can come up with something else, whatever the Lord give me.
She said, let her know if you answered the question, Tammy. Like I said, we don't went live, and apparently we're going doing an open session, so feel free to drop a question in there if you want to. You know, the one thing I was thinking about, you know, when you said that, or when we were talking about that, is just, you know, that's kind of how, you know, unfortunately, why you be seeing on Facebook for Mother's Day, for Father's Day, women, single mamas claiming they the Father's Day too, you know? And I know it's a whole lot of drama to that, but at the end of the day, like, if we would do it at the beginning, there wouldn't be this, that's not my baby, I'm not this. if you know, I know you would say, if you make your bed, you're gonna lie in it. That's what she would tell us. And so it can't be one way for the girl, but not the same way for the boy. You make your bed, you lie in it, you're gonna be a whole daddy. A whole daddy. You know, you're gonna show up all the way. You're gonna give everything that you have to the situation, and you're gonna be what you need to be. You know, and I know a lot of times with how young some of them are getting pregnant, it be some foolishness, but you have to figure out a way even to be the bigger person as well, because you can't. Y'all want to tell y'all something? One thing she will always say is, you won't always win. You can't worry about who win. You can't worry about who on top. Sometimes you're gonna have to eat that. You're gonna have to swallow your pride, and you're gonna have to get over yourself and do what's necessary, because you know, it's unnecessary to lose the ability in the relationship that you need and that you want, but out of foolishness. So we going live because we have been talking to you guys about what we doing this week. And what we doing this week is we are talking about Mother's Day. We're talking about moms. We're talking about things my mama said, the book and the prayer journal. And we wanted to come on and chat, but then we started going into a full-blown live session. So I said, hey, if you have questions, drop the questions in there, because this is the opportunity to ask my mama some of them questions that y'all be saying y'all want to ask her. So hey, go on and drop them and let me know. But what would you say, Mom, has been the hardest thing as a mom for you to do or learn?
How to prepare my kids mentally for the world. That was the hardest thing for me, because you have kids, some children that are so headstrong that think that they know everything and you can't tell them anything. So just preparing them mentally for the world that we're living in today and back then, so that they could stay balanced. Because if you don't keep your balance in the world, then, as my parents used to say, every Tom, Dick, and Harry gonna take you away and have you doing what they want you to do. You have to know for yourself and know God in the midst. And you have to try to instill Christ in your children at some point in life. If you don't have that walk with them, that's fine, and you might can't, take them every day, but try to at some point instill Christ into their lives, so that if they take the wrong path in life, they'll know that there's somebody that I can call if I'm afraid to call my mom or my dad. And with a stable mind, a child will be able to know who that person is that they can call in that time of need. Because they're going to all end up somewhere in life on the wrong track. But you can get back on. As Donnie McClurkin say, we fall down, but we get back up. So just that was the hardest thing, because I had some strong-minded children and still got one now. So just have to continue to keep instilling in them that to fear God is to love God, and it's to love yourself.
So one of the things that is big in our family is family, right? And so so we grew up around a lot of our family and a lot of our cousins. And so one of the things that would happen between me and my two-piece, she know who they are, because now we see it in my niece and her two-piece. But when we would get mad at each other, we would say, yeah, that's true. we would say, "You not my friend no more." Let her hear it. Let her hear it. You or any of y'all, when we would say, "You not my friend no more," what you would say? She would say, "It don't matter if they're your friend. That's your cousin." You be like, "I don't want to be their friend or their cousin," but she be like, "Nope, that's your cousin. You don't be. It don't matter. That's your cousin, right?" And so I look back at that, and what she was, showing and even teaching us is family and togetherness, because you may not have friends, but you will always have family. And sometimes you will need to lean on that family and depend on that family. You might have to end up staying with that family, so you will always have family. And she reminded us that even that at a young age, because listen, we all at some point done needed each other. Listen, I stay with my granny. I did it on the cool, y'all. I started just showing up, right? I was like, I would just show up every night, and then I would just like bring some stuff. And then one day she said, "Do you want a key?" And I said, "Yes, ma'am." I just invited myself. I did. I can't lie. And so, but as I look back now that she's gone, I'm able to say I lived with my granny, and not just younger but older, and like we had those times. Like she would make sure I had something to eat, or she would check on me, make sure I was good, came home. So I was like, okay, like, all right, yeah. And so that was a good time and a memory for me. But one of the people said, and what do you feel about this? Kids want their parents' approval through it all. Would you agree?
Yes, they do. And a lot of parents think that's not true. But kids, with being a teacher in the school system, you hear some stories that y'all children come to school and tell us that we didn't even ask to hear. But children are always wanting approval, and especially from their parents. They want to know, and a lot of times they won't come to you and ask you. You kind of got to be figuring it out your own self, that they want you to tell them something. But yes, I would say that is very true. They want your parents' approval.
Okay, like I said, drop a question in. We gonna wrap up in by at least 10 minutes, so get your last minute questions in with Mama. She here, she live and in full effect. We done ended up doing a whole impromptu session when we was just coming to tell y'all tune in this week. So we talked about adult relationships. What do you say to those that have lost their parents and lost their moms, and they're getting ready to do this Mother's Day without them?
Well, this is a new one for me because my mom just passed in February, so this is the first year that I will be without her for Mother's Day. And I'm not one who like to go to the cemeteries. I don't know if I'm going still, but I wave by often. I wave when I go past it because it's right up the street from my house. And I wave. I say, "Hey, Mama." I say, "Hey, Faye." But
listen, y'all. I got to tell y'all this, right? Most of, the majority of our family is at the cemetery, okay? And so when she told us this on the group meet, because we got a group meet called Granny's Girls, I asked her, "What about everybody else that's over there?" She talked about, they know. That's all she said. They know. I said, wait. She say hi to my granny. She say hi to her sister, my auntie. And then everybody else, she say they know. I said, I'm done. I can't. I'm done.
But anyways, to answer the question, if you're still grieving, continue to grieve. And just thank God for the time that you had, with your mom. I told my niece if she goes to the cemetery to see her mom, which is my sister, I might give her some flowers to take to my mom. I went once to see my sister, but I haven't gone at all. She did.
Everybody was shocked.
But me and the cemetery, we just don't get along. Unless I have to go out there and with a big crowd of people, I can do it. But
so for Tammy, it's been 16 years, and she says she doesn't like to go either. She's only been 3 times too.
Yeah, that's all right. Because I had to go to therapy for this grieving thing that I was going through with the loss of my sister and my mom. And the therapist told me that was okay. She said, in due time, if you'd be led to go to the cemetery, then go. But at the meantime, don't worry about it. It's okay. So to you, Tammy, that's okay. Because I don't think that I have to go to the cemetery to talk to my mom. Because everywhere I look around, even if I'm just sitting up awake, I see her and I feel her spirit around me. So I can't say how Mother's Day is going to be for me. I can't say how it'll be for you. But just remember the good times that you've had with your mom.
Yep, absolutely. Your grief, your rules. And to add to that, it'll be my first one without my granny. It'll be my first one without my sister. And I'm not a mom. And I get the question a lot of times, why am I not one? And I guess I'm addressing it with my mama since she's here with me. I cannot be a mom at least at this point in time. We have tried once, and that was a failed situation, and you could technically say it was a loss of a child. And I don't talk about it. You hear me talk about my chronic illnesses, but okay, we'll answer that. You hear me talk about my chronic illnesses, but you don't hear me go in specific with it. But a lot of people will ask that because, like, literally, I remember one time when we were in Virginia, all my friends was pregnant, and so everybody was like, "Is you getting pregnant? You next?" And I was like, "No." And they thought I was just saying no because no. And I was like, no, because I have illness. And a lot of times that is difficult to talk about, even the illness, let alone infertility, let alone you try and you lost technically a baby. And so even a lot of my family does not know. The Granny's Girls group know, and probably their spouses and stuff. And then some other close cousins, my road dogs, they know from the church, Mary and Ida Faye, they know. But and some of my close friends, but it's a sensitive subject. But what I can tell you is, if I did not have the strength of my own mother to be not only a person that I could lean on through the years, but sometimes, y'all, listen, if y'all don't know, y'all see the little nice, just look quiet. She got a little crunk at a little bit earlier, but this girl right here, she
thinks she grown. She keep talking about this girl right here.
She'll fight somebody over her kids.
I sure will. I ain't gonna fight you with no fist either.
She'll fight, and so she will be my advocate at the doctor's. She will be my advocate, and she, up until when I moved, she was at every surgery. Like, she was not one for play. Like, listen, no, what you gonna do is figure this out. I've been tempted to have her come back because we got a new issue. I've been tempted to have her come back and come, but now I'm going with her to some of her appointments. See how they reversed? The Lord just work it out. But she definitely has been one that I lean on, and that's even why I said, ask your parents some of them hard questions, because a lot of times, sometimes the illness that you have, your mama had it. The stuff that you going through, your mama went through it. We talk a lot about generational curses and all of that, but some of it is just the luck of the draw, and it's genetics, and it's not necessarily a curse that it was brought upon you because you did something bad, but it was something that unfortunately genetics had. Because another thing that had happened to us was my mom was having all of these issues probably about 10 15 years ago, and I was still living in Virginia, and she was like, she called me immediately, you need to go talk to your doctor and ask them if you got this blood disorder. I was like, what? And I didn't do it at the time, but I started having major issues when I came back here, and come to find out, your girl got the same genetic blood disorder she got. I said, what? Why you keep giving me all this bad stuff? I got the bad stuff from you, the health stuff, and I got the bad stuff from my daddy. Why? No, none of the other kids got it. They all threw it on me. They done gave me both their genetic drama. I don't even understand. But anyways, don't be afraid to ask your mom, you know, hey, I noticed this. You know, what do I do? What should I do? You know, especially if you have that ability, because chances are she may have had the same thing. You know, chances are that may have happened. So don't be afraid. But Mom, we have a question. What about, and she talked about it a little early, but they want to know, what about strained mama relationships, mama children relationships? How do you tell that child that when there's a strained relationship with, they ain't tight? What do you tell the child?
Well, I don't have per se a child that's type of relationship that I have with, but I got stepchildren. But I call all my, whether or not they step or not, I call them all children. And you just still have to stay in there. And believe me, mine have done some not so nice and pleasant things and said some not so nice and pleasant things to me, but I never gave up on them. I always stayed there with them. If something happened, I was right there with my husband. For as calling them on the telephone like I may call Tanya, I haven't always done that. But they knew. I let them know, if you need me for anything, I'm here. And another thing I've always done is made sure their father, which is Tan's father, stayed in contact with them to make sure that they have not the strange relationship. Because
what about that from the child's perspective? Like, what do you tell the child that that's them and they have this hard relationship with their mama?
Try to find the good in her. And a lot of people don't want to find, they see the good in somebody, but they don't want to tell you, I see the good. They prefer to, or would rather keep controversy going. But we have to always show love, whether it's the child or the parent. We always have to continue to show love like God does for us. And I'm sure God probably all the time feel like he has a strange relationship with some of his children, because some of us just act like we sometimes are stepchildren and don't care anything about God. But we have to continue to show them love. And I guarantee you,
I would say grace too, Mama.
Yeah, love and grace, because I guarantee you, when a child, if it's small right now, and as he grow up, begin to have children of their own and a relationship with their own children, because the Bible says, whatsoever man soweth, that shall he also reap. It may not be you did the sowing, it could be generational of sowings that coming back into your life. And because I tell my husband, why am I having to reap something with your children, which are my stepchildren, that you did? That may sound funny, but I ain't had no older kids. So, I'm suffering because of his suffering with his children. But I love those kids just like they would, were birthed from me. And that's what we have to do as moms. We just have to shower them with love. And a lot of them don't want to hear it. I love you. They'll play like they don't want to hear it. But then when you tell them, then they like, oh, she do care. But then in front of you, they'll try to act like they don't care. So you can't let that break you down if they don't give you the response that you're looking for at the time when you're wanting it. It'll turn around for you good. If God is in it, it will turn around for your good.
Hey, Shani.
Hey, Shante.
We are talking live. We ended up doing a whole session here on Facebook Live and Instagram Live. I was supposed to just tell y'all to tune in and to, yep, she said great advice. Tina said great advice. And to tune in. Oh, Lord. Here you see your auntie? You see your auntie, your granny? That's Chanel. Chanel done joined on.
Oh, hey, Chanel. Fluff, fluff.
Lord, she done put your whole name out here. I didn't do you like that. But we was just coming on to tune in and say, hey, Shani said hey too.
Hey, Shani.
and to just say
my favorite cousin.
To tune in this week, because I was going to have a special guest on Talk with Tanya, the first ever. Well, somehow we done ended up doing a whole session. And so I said to drop your questions if you have them. We asking questions from mamas or from children, because it's Mother's Day coming up. So feel free to ask a question, drop a question in before we wrap up in the next 10-15 minutes. But just wanted to just say, you know, to what you were saying, if you were a child that has a strained relationship, especially if you're older, you know, sometimes adding to that point of you saying, I said give them grace, because, you know, you will see things from a whole different perspective, not even when you become a parent, but just when you become older. Like stuff that you didn't understand, or that they were sheltering you from, you begin to see sometimes the difficulty and hardness of having to do it once you get older. Like, they may not have answered every question because they was tired, because they was working an 8-hour shift, and they was going to do a part-time, and they was just trying to get food on the table, you know, and they didn't have, you know, as my granny would say, they were trying to make $1 out of 15 cents, you know. So they'll just be coming out, Tammy, the regular ones, like I normally do. They'll be available. They'll just be coming out. They come out at 6:55 a.m. and 6:55 p.m. So be looking for them. And then there's going to be a special extended version similar to this, but it's already recorded, that will be coming out. Terry said, hey,
Terry. Tony's favorite cousin.
Bad. Listen.
He's probably over there now, ain't he, Terry?
Listen.
Because he's not at home.
So, so be sure to check the Instagram, Facebook, YouTube all week, because she'll be on as my special guest on Talk with Tanya every day. They're already recorded, and then there'll be a special extended version that'll be coming out Mother's Day. But if anybody has any last question, because I know I done wore her out, y'all. I know I done wore her out, because we done did like 6 recordings for like 2 hours, and then we done did this. She said, I know she is.
She said, I know, yes, he is.
Tony Baloney, why is you over at Terry's house? Is Kayla there?
No, she at home.
Okay. But no, all serious note, just definitely check it out. Everybody always asks about my mama. They want to talk to her. They want to ask her questions. And so I asked her some of the questions that you may have as this Mother's Day comes up, and we done ask questions even in this live. So if you are catching the replay and you have questions that you want to ask Mama, feel free to ask them, and I will be sure to get her to get a response back to you. So if you are catching the replay, feel free I'm done. Feel free to ask the questions in the replay, and I will make sure that she gets those questions to you, to those responses to you. Yes, thank you. This is how we are. We just gotta keep it real. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. You have any last parting words of wisdom, mamaism that you want to share?
Yeah, I just want to say, as a mom, just love your children. Children just want to be loved. That's it. They want to know that their parents love them. And parents want to know that their kids love them. You know, oftentimes our children won't tell us as parents that they love us. I know I tell mine all the time, and I have one son who I like to kiss on him and kiss on the grandbaby, and they be going, ooh, I don't care how old you are. I just like to give you some love.
Well, do you got a question, Terry? Drop it in before we leave. She told me I done missed the show. You can catch the replay, though.
So, you know, love on them, kiss on them, hug them. That way they don't have to go out to the street looking for love. And so many of our daughters, because we don't show them love from a father's point of view, because our fathers sometimes feel uncomfortable hugging their daughters. But we have to, as parents, as mothers, teach our husbands have to show love to their children so that they won't feel like, well, I never had that love from my dad, or I never had that love from my mom, so I left home at 18 and went to the streets trying to find love. Because when we oftentimes see people who have ended up in the streets, if you would just ever listen to their stories, it all goes back to home. I didn't feel loved at home, so I went looking for love in all the wrong places. But as parents, we have to show love to our children so that they'll know that we care, and if they make mistakes, we still care, and that they can always come back home and not judge. You chastise them and tell them you made stupid choices, but you know,
that's the rawness, child.
That's the rawness. You still have to be real with them. Love them, but be real, because kids will take advantage of parents, and as parents, we can't be afraid to teach our children. You have to teach them when they 1, 2, 3, 23, 43, 63, 83 if you're 103 and they 83, because most time as parents we're at least 20 years apart in age. So 103 and 83, you know, it could be that way. You still have to show love one to another. So, and as this Mother Day approaches, if your mom is still alive, do all you can for her this week, because we never know what may happen before Corona is over.
Yeah, my family would always say, give your flowers to me while I'm yet alive so I can smell them. They would all of them would say that. They said, don't be trying to be weeping over my casket and crying and cutting up and acting no fool with my friends. Give me my flowers now while I can get smell them. And so to that point, you know, I challenge some of you, Terry, that just giving you love. I challenge you, you know, as hard as it may be, you know, you might not be able to go, but call them, send a text message, do something hard for yourself, do something that might be difficult, do something that might be your challenge, but do something. Because if you actually want to not have regrets, if you actually want to not have, I wish I shoulda, coulda, all of that, I should have did this, I should have did more of that, I should this. You have to start now, and you have to start making steps. I don't care if they baby steps. Make some type of forward progress so that you can begin to build upon that and build upon that. That's the only way you mend relationships. That's the only way you broker an opportunity to come back together. You know what I'm saying? And so whatever that looks like, I don't care if you the daughter, if you the mama, if you the son, if you the whatever, work on the relationship, because I don't want you to have regrets, because I've seen it too many times. I've worked with too many people where they wish they could have did this. They wish they had more time to do that. And that's too late. The graveyard is too late. The cemetery is too late. The funeral is too late. And so don't wait, because it's so many people right now, like my mama, like my cousin Terry, like my friend Tammy, wish they had their mama here. So don't take them for granted, y'all. Don't take them for granted that they'll always be here, always be able to clean up your mess, always be able to come to your rescue, always be able to babysit your kids when you want to go out on Saturday and then talk to them, bring them something Sunday. No, fam. We got to do a better job at this thing called relationships. We got to do a better job. So I challenge you guys to do some work this week, to do the hard thing, to do the thing that makes you uncomfortable but will help you to mend the relationships and get you back working and making forward progress. Because it is too many people right now that wish they had what you had, and you taking it for granted. All right, so I am going to wrap up this impromptu session that we have had. It was totally unexpected. We was not planning to be on here this long, but like I have said, this is Tanya Talk with Tanya, and this is
Mama Linda Franklin.
And we have been coming to tell you to tune in this week as the Talking with Tanya's drop, because she will be my special guest. She will be my only guest that I have ever had. And she will be talking about Mother's Day, our project, things my mama said, because she's the person behind it. She is that person, and she is the person I always talk about. And I felt it, how dare I not bring her here this week and talk to you guys and bring her to you so you can ask her questions. So like I said, we're wrapping up, but as you catch the replay, as you catch some of this, make sure that you put in any questions that you may have, anything that you may want to ask Mama Linda, and go with it. She's gonna respond to it. I'm gonna get the question to her. She might even just come back as an audio. That might be easier for her to just flow. But thank you guys for your time tonight. I so appreciate you. Much love, and thank you so much. Bye guys.
Peace.